Hello, hello, hello. This is WHPR, Legal Issues and Health. We're back live. This is not a rerun. We're back live. We've been on a little vacation, you can say, but we here, and we still will be bringing you the update because so much has been happening in between the end of this year and the beginning of this year. There's a lot of good things and bad things. And, we just here to inform you, and you just have to tune in. Usually the first Tuesday of the month we'll be here, and usually the last Tuesday of the month. The other ones is up in the air. If the funds available, we'll be here. If they're not, we won't. But we have a lot of information to give you. And like always, I always ask you, do you have your reference tool, which is the state constitution, the federal constitution, the city charter, the Robert's Rule of Order. Those things are what I call reference tools because most of your laws will refer to one of those things. Even we got this thing about the tax assessment. We're going to talk a little bit about that today. Well, a lot of people owed a lot of money. And trust me, it wasn't by accident because I was reading, I run across 2 or 3 articles, and one of them may have gotten misplaced, and I found it this morning, and it was kind of strange. They said that Land Bank wasn't involved. They said that the government wasn't involved. And there was somebody else. It was 3. So it really was on the back of the citizens. So it wasn't by accident that they was over assessing the citizens. And they need to ask for the assessor to be fired. He need to be removed. And see, all this, you got to understand, we never had so many problems in any administration like we are having in this Duggan administration. You got people running around talking about they got water shut off, and that's done under fraud, and I proved it. And nobody should be getting their water shut off. And I've told you, we mentioned it on this program more than once. You can call me at 313-521-5012. That is not a cell phone. That is a landline. So don't be trying to text me anything. On that line, you have to call. You call me and we can discuss it, or you can come out to Hood Research meetings. Every now and then, just about every meeting that I'm there, just about, I talk about the water shut off. It's a fraud. People are getting their water shut off, and they say your water being shut off because of delinquent water bill. Well, your water portion part of that bill is the lowest thing on there. Your sewage is 3 times and 4 times more than what your water bill is. And a simple way to eliminate the problem is when you pay your bill, if you pay it by check or money order, write down there water portion and the amount. And if you want to pay extra for the, whatever you got left for the sewage, then the rest could be for the sewage. Then that way you got proof to show that you paid your water bill. Because if you say your bill is $300 and you pay the whole $300, if you don't specify, say you pay not $300, say you pay $250, and $50 is left as a balance, they're going to put all that on the sewage and water, on the sewage, and they're going to leave a balance on the water because that's the only way they can legally collect. So you must understand that there's a difference between sewage, drainage, and water. When I say sewage, that includes drainage because the drainage is up under the sewage. When you look at your water bill, you see sewage, and then they have a drainage fee. Well, the drainage fee is usually about $20 on the average. Now, some of them might be a little higher, some might be a little lower, but it's about 20. I think mine's 2063 or something. That's the drainage, which that's too much because I mean, what do they have to do? The water drain automatic by gravity. It don't take no manpower for it to do that. So that's something else I could talk about. But just to let you know that this was going on probably before the Duggan administration, but it got worse since he's been there. Nobody should have their water shut off. And the reason why I'm blaming the Duggan administration, because I have sent them protests, objections about this water fee. And I told them that it was a violation. And I don't know how many of them formed the way, a lot of hood research meetings. And if the people are sending them in like I told them, you got Gary Brown, you got the mayor, and you got Susan McCormick, who's over the Great Lake Water Authority. You fill out these forms, and you send all three of them a copy. So they be, in other words, you're saying that you have notified them that you disagree with this water. And they keep calling it a water affordability, and they need to stop that. They saying that the water is not affordable. Water is affordable. What's not affordable is the sewage. And you must understand, because if you go to court, and which I've told some of them, but they don't want to listen to me. I told Maureen Taylor and them the same thing, and I believe I even sent them a copy of one of my protests. But I don't hear nobody addressing it like that. I hear everybody saying the same thing. Water, unaffordable water. Water is the cheapest thing on there. And if you go to try to challenge it under administrative review or through the courts, they're going to look at you and laugh. And they're going to throw it out. Because you got to call it what it is. Her name is Gloria. My name is Carl. You can't call me Gloria. That ain't my name. That's the same way they look at it when you go to court. You got to say what it is that is unaffordable. What's unaffordable is the sewage. Well, the drainage is so-so, but just say sewage. If you say sewage, that covers drainage, because that's part of drainage. And you must understand, because it's clear. They didn't have about, I know of 3 cases that they have won in court, and they have said that it is a tax. Did you vote on it? I'm just asking you a question. Did you vote on it? The law says that you have to vote on taxes. I think it's Article 4, Section 29, says any special or local act has to be voted on by the people. Now, when did you vote on that? So you never vote on it. So anything, any increase, anything that they do connected to the water is fraud. It's illegal. So this Duggan administration is running an illegal
operation.
Yeah, I'm going to be nice. We say operation. But, it would remind me of some of these mafia pictures that you look at. Ain't no difference. He just got a suit and everybody think it's all right because he got a title called the mayor. But this man is just as crooked as 2 left shoes. Everything that he has done, even the parking. He was charging people $45 for parking. Well, that wasn't, I can't put all that on him because Calvin Orr started that. But he didn't do anything to stop it. And he knew about it because I sent him complaints about that too. Did absolutely nothing. And then finally, I also sent the city council something, and finally I believe it was one of the female members, is either Sheffield or I'm trying to think of her name. I can't think of her name right now. But anyway, they put a proposal in that they cut the parking tickets in half, which should have been in the first place, $20. But what about all them $45 that they have collected that people have paid? See, ain't nobody saying nothing about that. See, in order to get that, you probably have to go to court and sue them. See, but all this is happening under Duggan's watch. And I'm gonna show you. I'm just gonna tell it like it is. He never did anything to help the citizens. We was getting grants to fix our houses up. Now I hear people make this statement and say he wouldn't change it. He cannot change the law. What he did do, he went there and lobbied for loans. And why did he want you to pay loans? Well, who is his buddy? Gilbert? Well, who you think gonna benefit? Gilbert? So you got to understand what's going on. There's some logic to his so-called madness. But it ain't madness to me. He just an outright crook. And he got away with it all these years because his father was a federal judge. And his father was connected. So he think he still could continue to do all these things. Well, I don't care who his father was. And I don't care who he is. If you're wrong, you're wrong. You know, he don't like you to bring up his history when you start talking about Madison Green. So this man got a history of doing bad. He got sued twice. Not once, twice. By the medical examiner in the Madison Green killing because he tried to force the medical examiner to say that he had drugs in his body, which was a lie. He wanted him to contribute his death to drugs. And me and Hassan, we went and we got the medical report. And when we looked at it, we said, God dog, the man's head was swell up like a watermelon. But he want to overlook that. He want to say that didn't have nothing to do with it. So I'm just here to tell you, no. He got sued twice. I think it was for $2 million. Something like that. I'm not for sure on the figure. But you could Google it in. It'll come up. Not once, twice. Now, why would he want a man to lie about something like that? He was trying to protect the police department. They the only one could benefit from it because they couldn't get around it because people was watching. They had too many witnesses. So that's the kind of person Duggan is. All the stuff that's happened over the medical center. He claimed, oh, he stuck his chest out, oh, I did this, oh, I did that. But then when they really start telling the truth about all those medical utensils that wasn't being sterilized and people were getting sick behind it, oh, he forgot about all that. All that was under his watch. He was responsible for that. So he don't want to talk about that. But I'm going to talk about it. You need to know who you're dealing with. You need to know the type of person that you're dealing with. Name one thing that he has given you since he's been in office. Now, this is his second term. Now he's talking about helping the people because he know he's on his way out. But what has he did? That's only talk. What has he actually did to help you? Everything that he had done has been anti-Detroit. And he's the mayor of the city of Detroit. I mean, what'd you call it? What did you call it? Huh? When he don't even go, you getting your house fixed for free, for grant, and he don't support it, but then he can go there and lobby for loans, which you got to pay for. I can't make it no plainer than that. If you can't understand that, well, I don't know. You need to get a psychologist, and maybe he can explain it to you.
You know, also, good morning, everybody. He's also some of those old sting operations with those police decoys.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when they were arresting a lot of the youth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, under Judge Sapala and Judge Archer. You know, railroading these people, paying all this money so that those different people worked on them could get raises. You know, so a lot of that went on when Percy Harris. You know,
Oh, yeah.
remember, he was to let me know that, and where a lot of the so-called decoys had pre-wrote up those papers because they'd be so busy at night doing the sting operation, they've already filled in everything other than the person's name.
Now, see, when she mentioned Percy Harris was a good friend of ours, and he was a police officer.
Yes.
And he pro-establishment. No, police can't do nothing wrong. He was 100%, but we kind of changed his way of thinking, you know, after he been around us and we started showing him the evidence, even in his health. Percy had a head full of hair. Head full of hair. And he ate greens all the time and vegetables, and he let them people talk to him into believing that he had a bad heart. Now, I to this day, I don't believe it.
Oh, me either.
But he believed in them so much. I said, man, you got too much trust in them. I said, Gloria, and it showed you the documented proof, and you don't want to believe that.
On the medication dosage.
Yeah.
He thought he was on the lowest dose when he was next to the highest dose of Procardia and some other medications.
Yeah.
And then he thought he had put him on the oxygen.
Yeah.
Supposed, I guess, for emphysema. But, you know, his demise. Listening to that kind of information, that's what happened to him.
See, this is a clear example of how a person can, I don't want to use the word kill themselves, but I don't know no other way to put it.
Well, you let somebody take your health.
Yeah, because you believe in what they say, and you won't check it.
Yeah.
You won't, you just take their word for granted. You can't do that. It's so much information out here now. It's no excuse now. If somebody tell you something, I don't care if it's me, do your checking.
Check it out.
Check it out. I always told you, check whatever I say, check it out. And if you come up with something different, call in and let me know.
Yeah. See who benefits, who makes the money off of it.
That's how the paper trail will take you back. Who benefit from it, and then you'll know who may be behind it.
Pushing it. Yeah.
90% of the time, that's who's behind it.
Yeah.
And we just got to be more. Let me put it. How can I say it? Stop trusting the wrong people.
Got to be more discerning. You got to know if they told you the truth. That's something that stuck with me that Hassan used to say.
Yeah, did they tell you the truth?
He said Elijah Muhammad taught him that. How do you know?
No.
How do you know personally? How do you know they told you the truth? You got to know, not what they told him, her, them, over there, that group. No, how do you know it's true? You got to know, not because they said it's new. You got to check it out and make sure it's true.
Yeah, that's
Make
why.
sure it's true.
Yeah, and he absolutely right, because that's what, when he said that, that's what made me start checking everything. I don't care what. I might read something I said, yeah, that's what it said, but I'm still going to check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I found out by doing that way, you won't get hook, winked, and bamboozled all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So you get hook, winked, and bamboozled most of the time because you're going on what somebody else say. I hear it all the time. What they say,
Mm-hmm.
well, why is it always they say? Can't you read? Go read it for yourself. And people still do it.
Yeah.
What they say, so it must be right. I know I went to the it wasn't too far from you, where they was talking about the tax assessments,
Mm-hmm.
and they were overtaxed just about everybody in the city of Detroit because of overassessment. And a couple of ladies in there, and so well, it must be true because I heard it on the TV. I said, what? I said, now I know you can't be that ignorant. To myself, I wanted to tell her that. I said, well, everything that you hear on TV is not true.
Mm.
I said, they're not God. Oh, yeah, I know. I said, well, then you you need to stop trying to treat them like they are God, like they don't tell no lie. I said, most of the things lies that we get
Most
it. That's why they call it television. Television, not television, television. Because they lie all the
All
time.
the time.
And you just got to know
All the time.
the truth from the lies.
And if they withhold information, it's still a lie.
Same
They
thing.
tell you some of it and don't tell you really what the root cause is, or got you thinking it's another way or somewhere over there instead of right there by you. It's still a lie.
Still, a lie is a
Still
lie
damaging.
is a lie. It doesn't change because you put it in a different way.
Yeah.
It's still a lie. I guess I'm going to take this call. They've been on there for a while. Hello, you on there?
Good morning, Brother Carl.
Good morning. How are you?
Peaceful. Good morning, Queen.
Good morning.
You know, Carl, what you both are saying, you're absolutely right. You know, when you think about it, understand how we go along with what everybody else spill out their mouths.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you listen to a man that claimed to know God, but he's never seen God.
Yeah.
You know, and we accept that. You know, a lot of times you ask people, understand, how did they convince you? How did they get you to believe that? How did they get you to believe that there was a heaven in space? You know, you think about that. Here was a people that they gave us that mindset that be good Negroes, obey your master, don't steal the master's chicken. You're going into heaven way up in the by and by. And really right now today, in 2020, most of us still accept that belief. And that's why we find ourselves in the condition that we are in, or even worse. Because we're looking up in the by and by, and everybody of intelligence is realizing that the life that they have is the supreme life, and they understand they ain't looking for nothing after this, so they're trying to build heaven while they live. This is why you have neighborhoods like Rochester Hills or Grosse Pointe and whatnot, because they ain't waiting to go to die, to go up in space to get a mansion. They trying to get it while they live. And we the only people that sit back and accept that belief. You can't tell me about God if you don't know God. How you going to tell me about God and you don't know him? God is a spook. God is a spook. God is a ghost. You don't know him, but you telling me about God. I ain't trying to hear that. That's why I love the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for what he taught. When he opened it, understanding, and it started me when he said, God is man and man is God. The original man is the original God. And when you get into science, biology, chemistry, anthropologists, genetics, everything, it can be proven in science, physics, and everything that God is man and man is God, and the black man and woman is the original God. Because when you look at every race of people on this planet, none of them can produce us, but we can produce all of them. And we ain't just got here, brothers. We've been here for trillions and trillions of years, and our home ain't in Africa. Our home is in the cosmos of space. And they can prove that, understand? We was here before the planet and whatnot. We have always been here. And until we wake up, understand, and change that childish type understanding that white supremacy have given us, we will stay in the condition that we in. The only gods we go find, understand, is the God that you all are looking at each other right across from each other. The she God and the he God. And that's the bottom line, Carl.
And thanks for that, brother. Well, you know, like they say, the truth is being revealed every day and every minute. You know, this why I started out saying this is the year 2020 of well, all truth is going to be revealed,
It sure is.
and
You're
it's coming
absolutely
out.
right, Carl.
And I do want to add about the so-called sciences too. I went back and researched before genetics and before a lot of these things, who these people were that put those things together. And we
Right.
need to be careful about what they said about another people. You know, when they got stuff together to tell us, it was always that we were less than them.
That's
Oh,
right.
Genetically.
Although
So-
we taught them.
yeah, but but genetically, Mendel,
Yeah.
those that worship Mendel, and some of the other scientists and chemists, and some of the old poisoners, Liebig, that was his name, and some of the other pathologists that knew what to do to produce diseases and tumors, Rudolf Virchow. We need to go back and question all of it,
That's right.
all of it, see
Mendel
where it
said
started.
you can get Mendel said we can get the recessive gene from the dominant gene, but you can't get the dominant gene from the recessive gene. And the dominant gene is the black gene. It's the black man and woman. No one can produce us. If white people were here before we got it, we would have never got here. And that's
That's
the bottom
a
line.
fact.
And like what Carl is saying, see, there's a small group right now. They know their time is up. They know, understand, the Pandora box is open, and they know the masses of the people are waking up. So now they're coming up with all kind of viruses, all kind of weapons of mass destruction
Yes.
to kill the masses, and they're doing it.
Yes.
And until, like I say, we get the mindset of God. If we unbury that God that's within us and bring him back to life, it ain't going to change for us. Jesus said the kingdom of God is within. It's buried up under all the rubbish of this old wicked world that we've been born in for the last 6,000 years. And so God has been buried under white supremacy, rubbishes of this wicked world or whatever. And the world it's the white man's world. It ain't our world. You have the sea world, the bird world, the germ world. You have all kind of world.
All kind
But
of
we live in the white man's world, which is a world of white supremacy. And it's affected the whole planet and everybody on the planet.
Well, what you got to understand that the Creator is very great, and all that has come around full circle now.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you have Trump as a president, and who was his main supporters when he first started?
That's right.
It was the Ku Klux Klan. And the Ku Klux Klan mentality. And that's what's ruling right now. And, the Creator, it was done by the divine Creator because he wants them in charge when he get ready to destroy this world. You have to understand that. It ain't by accident that he became president.
Right.
And when you really
That's
think
right.
about it,
That's
he
right.
had everybody hating him. Now, how did he get
Everybody.
elected? He had everybody hating him.
Everybody.
Blacks, whole, all them whites that supporting him now, they was the main ones that was hating him. Now, how could
say.
this one man who had everybody hating him, didn't have no support, get elected?
Good question, Carl.
Now, I'm still studying that. I haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah, that's laughable.
That's laughable.
Carl, Carl, you own it. That's the game that they've been playing on us.
That's
You own
right.
it, Carl. You need to say that again, understand? How did so many people hate this man and he reached the highest office of this country?
That's right. Everybody hated him. I don't think he had only few supporters he had was the Ku Klux Klan. That was small. And he ended up being the president of the United States. Now,
Right.
even with the modern math, I can't figure it out.
Carl. And he's not going to be impeached.
Oh, no.
He's not going to be impeached.
Nah.
Oh, I
They
know that.
wasted the tax people's dollars and all this circus that's going on. He's not going to be impeached. It's a circus.
Look, the Democrat is just as responsible as the
You're
Republican.
absolutely right.
This man stood right out there in public and talking about quid pro quo. What he did was extortion. Look it up. When you withhold money and tell them you're not going to give them something that they deserve unless they do X, Y, and Z, that's extortion.
What did he say when he got in office, Carl? Carl, what did he say? He said we should go over there and take the oil.
Yeah, he did. I
He's a
forgot about
gangster.
that.
He's a gangster.
He sure is a modern gangster in a suit.
He's a gangster.
That's all he is. I mean, you got to look at, and you got to look at the parallel between Duggan and the president.
He's
Ain't
a
no
gangster.
difference.
He's one of the lieutenants.
They got the different name and different position, but they're exactly one of the same.
One and the same.
Same actors on the stage, huh?
That's right. And
That's right.
And that's all you got to do is just look at it. Look at what and Duncan don't even try to hide it. Long as he's been in the office, I never heard him say anything about how he can get along with Democrats. But when the Republican was in there, he said, "Oh, I can get along with them very well." Now, I mean, that ought to tell you something. That ought to tell you something.
Fast as he open his mouth, he telling the lie. Fast as he open, every time he open his mouth, his turn bend up.
I don't think there ever was a time when they was measuring how many lies somebody take, and they did that with the president. I forgot how many lies. It was something totally ridiculous. And they say that he lies so much now they can't even keep up with it no more.
I think that's why they brought that Pinocchio commercial out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, brother, I gotta let you go.
All right,
My
I
phone was
appreciate you. I
banging
love
this
both of
morning.
y'all.
Okay, and thank you.
Thank you all.
Keep tuning in. Hello, you on there?
Good morning to the both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you back.
Oh, glad to be back.
All right, all we got to do is put our seatbelts on and get ready for the ride. Everything happens in divine order. He was not elected, he was selected.
Thank you.
So he's got to carry out what he was appointed to do. There's a higher power that got him in there.
Oh, yeah.
And we ain't got to worry about a thing because it's playing itself out.
Mm-hmm.
The curtains have been pulled back. Now we see everybody has been revealed. So I ain't worried about none of it. I just sit back and laugh because it's actually funny because I know that there's a divine order that has everything under the control. And we just got to sit back and watch. And you all have a great, great day. And I sent a check last month. I'm going to send you a money order again this month. Because
Well, I
we got to
appreciate
keep
it.
y'all on. I
appreciate
just
it.
miss
Thank you.
you when you're not on.
Well, we love being here, but that's what it takes for us to be here. Is a little support.
Yeah,
we get
and
a
I'm
little
gonna
support, we
send
be
you-
here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
gonna send
appreciate it.
I'm going to send more this time. Last time I sent $35. But I'm going to scrape up $100.
Well-
and maybe that'll give you all another show.
Yeah, it
So
would help.
I thank you all.
Thank
I
you.
thank
I
you.
really appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right then. Bye-bye.
See, now that's what I'm talking about. Y'all talk about y'all won't like the program, but see, she proving she liked the program. And if you want to see us come on more often, hey, that's what it takes. Whatever you can give, 5, 10, 100, whatever. We don't discriminate when it comes to whatever you can give, and we appreciate it because we love what we're doing. We love to keep you properly informed
And warned.
and warned. We like doing that, and the only way we could do it, we just need some support,
Yeah.
financial support as well.
Yeah.
Most of all. Oh, we got another caller here. They've been on here for a while. Hello, you on there?
Greetings.
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 Hassan, you're only a thought away, and you got your people here representing you.
Well, my name is
Um,
Carl, but I know what you mean.
yeah, yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yes, all these people are selected. You know, this mayor, you know, he was selected. Nobody voted for
The
this
first
guy,
one.
huh?
Yeah, the first election he was elected.
And I think the second one too. I don't. It's just crazy. But I want to talk a little bit about Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick and how I think that Trump and these evil forces are going to use him as a kind of a sacrifice. They're going to be playing with his life and by proxy all black people's lives by dangling over us that, oh, we're going to let your guy go, but y'all going to have to come and show y'all support for me. What do y'all think about that?
Now, who are you talking about when you said that they said that we have to show their support? Who's asking for our support?
Trump, he's dangling Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick over us with a saying he may pardon him.
Well,
Have you heard about that?
I haven't heard nothing about, not like you put it, about his support, because I don't think that we should fall for that trick. You know, if he's going to pardon Kwame, well, let him pardon. But I don't think that we should fall to no conditions that we should support him. Now, what you do, if you want our support, we'll look at it. If we see that you're doing something that is deserving our support, and it ain't gonna be no, like Trump say, what do you call it, quick pro quo? No, it ain't gonna be
And
you
that's
scratch
what it
my
sounds
back.
like
I
he's
said
trying
no.
to do with the Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick.
Well, America Comic Kilpatrick should have nothing to. That has nothing to do with the other. This is what he might want to do, but people
Yeah.
shouldn't fall into it. If Kwame get out, fine. If he don't get out, fine. But the thing is, we should not let him use us as a bargaining chip for him to get in office
Yeah, you
under
know,
no circumstances.
that's how those evil demonic forces work, and it's kind of like he. I'm not surprised though. I'm not surprised. I want to just applaud you and Hassan and your co-host there for all the work y'all have been doing over the years. You know, the work that we do now oftentimes doesn't benefit our people until later. We like doing groundwork. So it may seem like things aren't happening for us now, but things will fall into order as we move on. Thanks again. Y'all have a great
Oh,
day.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for doing it here. Yeah, we
Who was offering the pardon? I missed that.
huh?
The pardon from
You
who?
talking about Kwame Kilpatrick?
Who's asking for the pardon, though?
Now that's what he never did say.
Oh, okay.
I guess he's talking about the president.
Oh,
The
President
president
Trump give him the pardon.
Wanted to give him a pardon
Oh, I didn't hear
in
that.
terms for our support.
Oh, really?
And what he brought up was a good theory.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, I never really thought about it, because I really don't spend too much time worried about this circus.
Mm-hmm.
Because whenever I look at it, I know I ain't going to be too far behind of what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he did bring up a very important scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And I can imagine him trying to do something like that.
Mm.
And I just say, flat out no. If that's going to be a condition for him getting out, well, then he just had to stay in there. We're not going to let you bargain. You do something for us, you got to do something more than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a little portion or a percentage of what you got to do if you want our support.
Mm-hmm.
You let Kwame up plus.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the jobs?
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't hear nobody talking about jobs. Usually in any political arena, or especially around election time, you always hear about jobs. I don't hear nobody talking about no job for black folks. Where are they? What you gonna do for us as far as jobs? That's gonna be, that has to be included in a scenario. Just like Duggan. What has he done? Where is his jobs program for the community? People in the city of Detroit who have been here all the time. Where is his program? He don't have one. Not because he don't want one. It's because he don't care. He don't care nothing about you. If he did, he'd been there. Just like I say, this is his second term. If he thought about you, he would have a program. Bus service. Terrible. Worst in the country for a big city. You shouldn't have to wait no hour, 2 hours for a bus. He know about it. And he lied and come on TV and try to talk about, well, he rode the bus and the service seemed to be just nice.
Kind of like the guy drank Flint's water, huh?
Yeah.
Seemed to be okay.
Yeah.
How you clean water?
Come on now. See, I ride the bus. And I know it hadn't changed. It got worse, matter of fact. And it's kind of hard to even say that it got worse. Hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. I'm not exaggerating. I'm telling you how long people have to wait. I mean, they got a schedule. And if they ran by it, it probably wouldn't be that much. But half the time they don't, they can't. You can go catch a bus, you look at the schedule, so it says 1:20. Okay, it says 1:20. You might be there at 2:20. I mean, that's how bad it is. Maybe 1:30 or 2:30, but it's never on time. Not since I've been catching it. That's all falling on Mayor Duggan's shoulders. He's responsible for city services. He had one guy that had been there 4 years. Nothing had changed. Now I heard that he just getting rid of him and putting somebody else in there. That's still falls on Duggan because he should have put somebody in that was qualified. He didn't want to come up there with that lie talking about this man. He think he'll do a very good job because he's qualified. Or gave us the impression that he was qualified. So that's on him too. City service, he is mandated to do city service in the charter. It ain't something that he could do if he want to or he could do. No, that's part of his mandated job. And the only thing he did on the buses is when you get on the buses, most of them in Detroit, they didn't even have the streets is coming up. They'll tell you the street, Shane coming up next, Gratiot coming up next. They didn't even have that. They got that working now on 2 or 3 buses now. That's the only thing that he did. But that's not the problem. The problem is the waiting time. We don't want to have to be waiting no hour and a half, 2 hours for no doggone bus. In a major city like the city of Detroit, and you talking about the auto show,
Well, they got the M1.
that don't do nothing for the citizens. That's a toy. They used to call it the mayor's toy. That don't help you, it'll take you certain little places, but in a major city, you should have buses. Like when you go to Chicago, you don't have to worry about no transportation. You go in them big cities, New York, any of them. You don't have to worry about no city transportation because the mayor has sense enough to know that if you're going to have a viable city and talking about this going to be a city that I'm kind of I can't think of the word now. But anyway, you got to have transportation. And this city don't have it. Don't make no sense. I don't want to hear that crap. Well, this is the motor city and because it's a car. They ain't got nothing to do with you having buses. Because back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you had decent transportation. I caught the bus. It still wasn't good then. It was a lot better than it is now, though.
7 days, 24 hours. Huh?
That's right. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So, you have to put the blame where it is. Put it on Mayor Duggan. And like this, oh yeah, because I meant to talk about this money that the tax assessors have been overcharging the city of Detroit. And people, they had about 2 or 3 meetings. They had one at the church at the Considine. They had one there. Then they had,
Hallie?
yeah, I think, yeah.
Okay.
Then they had another one right around the corner from you. They called it the Red Door. Right there on, God damn, I can't even remember the street. I think it was Oakland. It wasn't no more than about 5 blocks from you. And you go down this street and there's a little red door and you go in there. And when we got there, it was over with. Agnes was there and Gladys was there. And they were, filling out, showing people how much taxes they were overpaid. The assessment on their house was overpaid. Mine was $5,912. That's from 2010 to 2016. So just about everybody, except for a few people, was paid over assessment for 2010 to 2016. Now, mind you, I wasn't able to, the last minute, I found my papers that I had did some research on, and they was talking about this is assessment. It didn't affect the land bank. It didn't affect the government, and it didn't affect, it was somebody else, and I just can't think it. But don't you think that's a little strange that it only affected the people? It only affected the people. Now, they telling you how much you're owed, but I haven't heard nobody talk about how they going to repay you. How they going to offset these taxes that you owe now? Are they going to offset it against the money that they already owe you? What is the remedy? See, that's what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for the remedy for us to be made whole. Because there is one, although I read that little article like Duggan, he always lying, talking about there is no law that where you can go back and recoup. No. It's just simple math and ain't got nothing to do with law. I overpaid you $912. Well, that's what you owe me. So 5,000.
You said 500.
Oh, I'm sorry. $5,912. Now that's between 2010 and 2016. Now I don't know what it may have been before the 2010. They just going back to 2010 to 2016. What about 2008 and 2009 and back then? What was it then? But we got to start somewhere. So I guess 2010 is to 2016 is good enough to give you a baseline anyway. And then you can start from there, and then you can go back and see how far you go back. Because, they talk this crap, but, well, there's no remedy to go back. Well, you wasn't aware of it then. And I believe the law says from the time that a person become aware, you can't be whole responsible for something that you didn't know. So the time should start now. I mean, just thinking off the top of my head. Your time should start now, because now it has been revealed to you back in 2010 and 2016, did nobody know about it? If if anybody knew about it, it was very few,
Yeah, very few.
and it never was publicized.
Somebody knew.
Somebody knew, but it wasn't publicized like it is now, all in the paper. You know, and Duggan, he's trying to, like he don't know what's going on. He gonna tell you that it ain't no remedy. If they could give a remedy for the bankruptcy, and they could get a remedy for all them banks, they can find a remedy for them, they can find a remedy for us. Now, if he don't have no remedy, well, then he need to go talk to his big shot friends and have them find a remedy for him. But we ain't accepting that. That's unnegotiable. The money that they have overpaid us, that's what we need to be concentrating on. How are they going to make us whole?
Overcharged.
Overcharged. And I was surprised. I'm reading this article, and I come across 2 or 3 articles that they was talking about it. And of course, they want you to think that, oh, it's nothing you can do. Yeah, it's always something you can do. Because you got to use the proper term. This is fraud. This is fraud. They don't want to use the word fraud, but I'm using it. It's fraud. Because if you tell me that this piece of paper is green, and I look, damn, that ain't green, it's red. Well, then you done lied then. Well, that's the same thing with your tax assessment. You overpaid. You overpaid, so they owe you. Duggan gonna lie. He's good at lying. He lies so much until you just like the president. You don't know when he's lying or telling the truth. Because they so good at it. So, you just have to be aware of what's going on. All these things that we're talking about in 2020, we're going to have to address. We got to understand now that everybody's in the process of finding out how much is owed to them from 2010 to 2016. Now we need to get the remedy together to get paid or make some kind of adjustment on them tax assessment. If this is what they owed you from 2010 to 2016, well then I guess I'm gonna have to make up like a short form of complaint and give it to people, and they send it in to the tax assessor and Mayor Duggan for them to make us whole again. And if they don't want to do that, well then we'll go to court. And that's something they really don't want to do. They do not want a judgment saying that the city of Detroit overcharged the citizens of the city of Detroit and they don't want to pay. How you going to win something like that? Talking about you don't have the money. Well, you better go borrow the money. If you got to go bankrupt, well, go bankrupt again. That's a business practice. They do it all the time. So if the city got to go bankrupt again to make the people whole, okay, go bankrupt. So what? That was a farce anyway.
For a real cause this time.
Bankrupt was a farce. It was fraud. See, you got all this fraud going on in the city of Detroit. That was the biggest fraud in history, was the bankruptcy. Because I don't care what you do when you're dealing with administration or anything, whether it's health-wise, legal-wise, or whatever, the first thing you got to do is be noticed. If you're not notified, there's nothing that could be done. How you going to address something if you've never been notified? That's why they didn't want me and Hassan in the bankruptcy thing. Because we proved that the citizen never was notified. Because according to the bankruptcy rule, it states that it has to be published in the paper for 3 consecutive weeks and an alternate paper for 3 consecutive weeks. That never was done. And when they did do it, it was after the fact. How you going to notify me after the fact? You can't notify me. The purpose of a notice is for you to get prepared for when it's coming, not after it's already here. The damage has already been done. So understand that it was a forest. It was fraud. And I can prove it. They could put, I'll have on a forum anywhere in the public. I would debate all these scholars about this bankruptcy, and I'll show you there was a fraud. And Judge Rose is a bigot crook. He was right along with them because they know he was getting ready to retire. So that's why they chose him. And he didn't get all kind of awards and for holding this hearing because he's a crook. He helped them pull off this illegal bankruptcy. That's what it was, illegal bankruptcy. When you file bankruptcy, that means all your debt is supposed to be paid. Well then, if all your debt is supposed to be paid, how could the pensioners not be whole? Huh? How could the pensioners not be whole? How could nobody not be whole? Even this tax assessment, all that should have been wiped out. I mean, we still talking about the city of Detroit, ain't we? All that's supposed to be wiped out. That's the purpose of having bankruptcy, is to get rid of your debt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the people are the citizens. So you got to understand what's happening here. It's a corrupt system, and it's been revealed every day, every minute. And we're going to continue to bring it to you. Mm-hmm. And next week, God willing, and I think that we will be able to be here next week so we can bring you up to date on this this assessment, because we got to stay on top of that. And I'm glad to see 910 has been talking about it and been informing people and keeping people up to date. And I hope they continue to do it. I know we are going to do our best. I meant to talk a little bit about health today, but it was just so much stuff we didn't get behind in. Okay. But next week we will be we're going to start off talking about health, because once you get started, so much stuff that's been piled up on us that's hitting us that we try to hit until, if I don't do that first, we won't never. Well, you see, like Hassan said, this is the fastest hour in showbiz.
That's right.
We down on time. We only got 1 minute left. And we want you to continue to look at the show and to support us. Help us help you. Tune in, send your money in. I don't care. Nothing too small and nothing too big. We accept it all. So we can stay on the air and continue to bring you the proper information that you need. Not, all these issues that's hitting us with the city and your health. Because, the kind of information we tell you about your health, you ain't going to get it nowhere else. Yeah. You just can't find it nowhere else. Yeah. So until next week, tune in, call all your friends and tell them to tune in. See ya.